Welcome into the Karis Penco YouTube channel. I'm Paul. I am the marketing manager here. I'm also in charge of the YouTube channel and inventory and a whole bunch of other things around the shop that I am engaged in. Don't just have one job title, but today I am here on the YouTube channel to kind of be your guide through another one of our pens. Today we're talking about the Edk V2, which is our pocket retractable pen. It's a little bit more of an everyday carry style and just the design and all of the features and everything. And so we'll walk through some of the standard versions, some of the versions that we've recently added, give you a little bit of a history on the Edk V2, and then kind of wrap things up and talk about where we plan to go with the Edk as of February 2022. So let's jump right into it. And here we have kind of an overview of some of the currently available Edk V2 pens, including the standard version and then some of the newer versions. So what you're looking at from left to right is the matte black Edk V2, which is a standard offering, and then followed by the tumbled brass Edk V2, tumbled copper Edk V2. Those are all standard. They have our ringed profile on the grip, and then followed by that fourth pin is a matte gray frag grip Edk, which has the black hardware. And then our latest addition to the grip profile is the dragon skin. That's a matte olive dragon skin with the black hardware as well. So the Edk came about, would have been 2015, 2016 timeframe. I think it was 2015 actually was kind of where we landed on this. But it came about due to an unofficial pen hack where we would take the Bolt V1s, the standard ballpoint version of that. You take the lower barrel from that and put it on a retract upper because the thread pitches are the same. And then with a bit of polytubing or some fashion spacer that you would insert into the body, we could use a Parker style ballpoint refill. And we made some of those here around the shop. People threw them together, and then some people that owned retracts and bolts had done that out in the wild as well with their own. And they're just like, hey, have you ever thought of making a version of this pen, which we affectionately called I believe it was called the Rebolt. And they were like, have you ever thought about making something like this in production? And we really hadn't at the time. It wasn't something that was kind of on the radar. It was just kind of one of those fun things where we were able to do. But as time went on, we actually kind of thought about it. We're like, well, this could be a potential, a potential pen that people would want to purchase. It would have a smaller format. It would only fit the standard Parker style refill or Parker adapted, which is the P8126. We'd use those refills only, so it would be shorter. It would be easily pocket carryable. And if we kind of basically built it kind of around that everyday carry theme, where we had only really the matte anodized colors and the tumbled, and that might be something that people would want. And we didn't really limit it for any other reason that we didn't know if it would be a popular option. So at the beginning, we only released 4 different versions. There's the tumbled aluminum version isn't here in in this top-down shot. But those 4 versions, the tumbled raw aluminum, the matte black anodized, the tumbled copper, and the tumbled brass, were the 4 versions that we initially released. And we offered them in like mix and match. So you could choose your lower barrel and choose your upper barrel, and then basically combine them in a mix and match kind of profile. And they shipped, at the time, we only shipped them with the P8126 refill. We didn't give you the option to select your refill, I don't think. And we were initially we were in the process of launching that pen as a Kickstarter when we kind of realized that this pen might not be the pen to do on Kickstarter. Just because it was a combination of 2 of our pens that already existed, and who knows, there might not be a lot of might not be a lot of demand for it. So we basically decided at the time, you know what, we're not going to do it on Kickstarter. We'll just go ahead and leave it as is. And we'll release it solely on the website. We'll just take a flyer on it, do it totally on the website. And so we moved forward with that. And it was a big hit, huge success, far more successful than we really expected it to be. A lot of people jumped on board. And early on, excuse me, within that first year, we basically realized that the mix and match options weren't really necessary or weren't viable. We had so few people purchase those mix and match versions that we basically, we didn't relaunch it, but we tweaked the website and basically released a message saying, hey, we're not going to have this any longer, have the option to mix the materials and mix the colors, because it requires us to keep them unassembled and then do a lot of assembly work at the end. And there just wasn't enough people that were purchasing them in the mix and match materials for us to move forward with that. And then as time went on, when we started doing the V2 stuff with the Bolt in, 2017, 2018, the EDK was the next pen that we did when we transferred to the V2, added the groove, added the O-ring to the barrel so they wouldn't come unscrewed. And then, while I don't have one here, the EDK was the first pen we did the fluted barrel version on. So the flutes were was the first basically move towards trying some new machining on grip sections, and the EDK was the first one to have that done. So we added the fluted barrel to the EDK, and then we've since added, actually I'm going to go back and we'll talk through these. And then we've since added the frag grip section and the dragon skin profile. And for a while we did grooved, which has been discontinued. The grooved EDK was just EDKs. And then we also did speed groove on the Bolt and the EDK. And we basically unofficially discontinued that. We may return to it at some point in time. But for now, for the time being, we don't have any, and we don't plan on having any in the near future. So just to quickly kind of walk you through it, we offer the standard. So we offer several different standard variants of the EDK V2 now. I've already talked about the standard 6-ring profile, the tumbled aluminum, black, matte black, tumbled copper, and tumbled brass. So those are our standard EDK V2s. We also have now standard frag EDKs. So the matte gray frag is a standard variant that we carry all the time. We plan to stock that one all the time. And then we also carry, normally we're out of stock right now. I have some out for anodized. We also have a standard matte olive frag grip section as a standard offering for that grip section. We have yet to add a dragon skin as a standard variant. in terms of a color. We will likely kind of narrow that down and find one that we've kind of decided will be the main one. And normally the dragon skin is offered with a smooth upper without the knurling on it. This special release with the matte olive dragon skin, we did the knurled on that one, partly because I didn't have enough of the smooth ones, but mostly because the olive just looks better with that color of anodized just looks better with the knurling on top. And then we very rarely do the standard 6-ring EDK in other colors and as special releases. It's rare for us to offer that pen as special releases. We'll do the other grip profiles and stuff like that. However, currently we do have this one, the matte red Edk V2, that is a special release. We have about, I think, 30 of these left in stock. We probably do one of these a year outside of the ultra black, but we try to offer maybe one a year. But it's kind of rare that this pen is available in a special edition. We usually will do some form of a tweak on it, where it's either the grip section that we're releasing, or it's a new material or something like that. So rather than doing a special edition of the 6-ring. And as for the future of the EDK, we don't plan on it going anywhere. We've done some tweaks. We've eliminated some colors for the standard EDK V2. We had for a while, a matte olive was an option for the standard version with the rings. But we decided when we added the frag, and we knew that we were going to keep that on as a standard, as a version of the EDK that we'd have kind of year round. We decided to transfer that all over to that. Then actually, the next thing that we plan on doing for the EDK is adding the titanium versions, which are being machined right now, and we plan to have those in the next month and a half. Available on the website. So that will be the next major addition to the EDK in terms of what we have to offer. I didn't go over this, unfortunately, since we had that top-down view, but since I'm over here and you guys kind of saw that, you can refer to it. The EDK, like I said, is based around using a Parker-style ballpoint refill. Actually, we designed it initially to use the Schmidt P8126, P8127 refill, which is a liquid ink rollerball that kind of mimics a gel-style writing experience. It's a relatively unique refill. It's Parker compatible or Parker sized. I don't know the exact term that Schmidt uses, but it's a similar length, but it is a larger width. So while the EDK will use a standard Parker style refill, the diameter of those are dramatically different than the P8126, and the tip portion itself is also a lot different. And in order for us to allow for both of those to be used in one pen, there is a little bit of a tolerance issue when you switch away from the maximum size tolerance that the P8126, P8127 requires, and go down to the size of a Parker style, like the EasyFlow 9000, the Schmidt EasyFlow 9000, or a Parker Jotter refill. Those do move inside the body of the pen, and so there is some movement, and you can hear some stuff going on. So that is something to keep in mind. If you prefer to use those, you may have some tip wiggle and some movement in terms of those refills. But you can still use them comfortably. A lot of times they fit naturally. There is some modifications that's required for the pressurized refills, like the Schmidt 950M and the Fisher style. We do have to bore out the tips a little bit due to the fact that both of those have a little bit of a wider tip on them than the standard Parker styles refill. At first, we thought that was something that was particular to Schmidt or to Fisher, and that turns out it's not the case. It's actually our tolerances have gotten tighter to kind of limit the tip wiggle that you can have in the pens. And so if you do plan on using one of those pressurized refills, there's a little bit of modification that has to be done to the pen to enable those to be used natively. So there you have it, guys. That is the Edk V2, our kind of everyday carry pen in all of its glory and in many of its different versions. Thank you for sticking around. If you have any comments, questions, and concerns, you can put them down in the comment section below. You can email us at info@karascustoms.com. There will be a link in the description of this that basically you can click and see all the currently available Edk V2s in all of their different glory and all of the different options. We do have some speed groove options right now, a few of them available that you can check out on the website, and some fluted versions will be offered in the near future as well if you're looking for some of those. Otherwise, thank you for sticking around. I would love it if you'd go ahead and like this video and subscribe. It really helps us out to know that this channel is something that is usable, is something that is being used by everybody that watches this, if you guys are subscribed to it. But otherwise, guys, have a great day. I will talk to you again soon. And you know what? If you have, like I said, if you have anything that you want to drop down in the comments specific to this, I would love to hear from you. We'll get back to you soon. Take it easy. Bye.